It's your boy Mike, welcome back to another Dokkan battle video. Dokkan has had a lot of fumbles throughout the years, and I kind of wanted to just go ahead and compile and make a list of like my biggest fumbles throughout my entire time playing. But before we start, what are your guys' biggest fumbles throughout like just the entire Dokkan history? What is like the unit that you were the most hype about, and then the kit got revealed and then it just wasn't what you were expecting, or maybe the animations weren't as good as you were hoping that they would be, anything like that. My personal number 5 though on this list is just any of the heroes units, but specifically the SCR Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Because the thing with a lot of these heroes units is because they have it where there's a guaranteed featured SSR character on like the end of the multi, I feel like they just made them a lot weaker than they really should have been, considering that every single time this banner was always right before anniversary, and every single year during anniversary they would always have just been power crept beyond belief, and it sucked, right? But the reason why I would say that this STR Super Saiyan Blue Goku was probably my biggest like sadness for all of them was because he looked the most like, what's the word, he looked the most viable, and then anniversary came out and then he just proved to not be. He had it where he got a whole bunch of defense on his entrance animation. He had it where he was getting a good amount of defense on basic effects. He had it where he was building up the defense to kind of like cancel out this. He had it where he was guarding all attacks with 5 or more key spheres. With just 3, he had a 70% chance of doing so. When his guard is activated, he got 40% damage reduction. You only either needed 3 crossover characters or 1 Xeno character on the team, and there were some decent ones at the time, like in Japan, which is a really good one to just bring if you needed that, right? But the thing was that like it was just so stupid, man, that they dropped the anniversary, right? And like Battle Hardened Formidable Foes came out, and yeah, I just wanted to double check that it was Xeno in the name. But Battle Hardened Formidable Foes comes out, like the new red zones come out, and it's just like this character just gets whooped in there, and it's so sad. It actually is just so sad, because again they looked the best, considering that just guard and 40% damage reduction, but it just wasn't enough because he would just take so much damage from everything. And I feel like that's how it was with like almost every single year, to the point where I wasn't even excited for a lot of these I wasn't even excited for a lot of these characters anymore as much as I was excited for like the easy A's, because the easy A's would have a higher chance of being better than the regular guys, right? Like I was excited for the Pan easy A. I was excited for the Masked King easy A. I was excited for a lot more of these characters who easy A'd rather than the actual characters who dropped themselves. And it sucks because I feel like they always held back a little bit too much on these guys, and now it's just like it sucks because they're not going to do them anymore, you know? Like, we're only going to get easy A's from this point on. Still sad that there's no Gogeta 2. Like, it's so stupid. Anyways, number 4 on this list is going to be the AGL Bardock. On release, he was just pretty mid, considering that he needed a whole bunch of low class warriors to get attack. All he had was 120% attack and defense. He did get more defense on super attack, but it just didn't feel like it was enough. And then when there was a wicked bloodline category enemy, he was attack effect against all types, which I believe there was an SBR at the time that dropped that did help him out, especially when he wanted to fight them, so that way he can go ahead and transform. But even post transformation, right? Like, look at this. All he got was an 18% chance of crit, dodge, and damage reduction. This is possibly the worst thing I've ever seen known to, and it was only for 5 turns. It was only for 5 turns too. He also lost defense, by the way. He goes from 100% attack and 120% attack and defense to just 100% defense. Because and he also stopped stacking too. So it was like one of those characters who you didn't want to transform until like the very end of fights. But the thing is, again, he's only stacking defense. So once you go into Super Saiyan Bardock, like compared to a lot of the other stackers, he just wasn't doing as much damage as them. And then defensively, like, he loses defense, and then all he makes up for it was the 18% dodge crit and damage reduction. Like, it was just so stupid. This was also really stupid as well, the Wicked Bloodline. I hated when they started doing things like this, where it's like, oh, this character would be specifically good. Dokkan Fest, newest Dokkan Fest would only be good in blah and blah event. That was, I'm glad that they stopped doing this, because there should be no reason why anything other than Easy 8 should ever get this passive at all. At all, man. So dumb. Next we have the physical ultimate Gohan. I know that a lot of people are probably going to have this unit higher up on their list, and I get that. Considering that, again, he just didn't go beast. I personally liked the active skill, the special beam cannon. Like, I thought it was really nicely animated to the point where I thought it didn't save this character from like being like, not what's like the term of just being a fumble, in my opinion, right? Like, the active skill was really good, and the fact that it had like voice lines made it nice. But of course, if you were to choose like Ultimate Gohan versus Beast Gohan, you're gonna choose Beast every single time, right? Like, even if it's not voiced, you would rather just be able to have the unit and play the animations rather than like, oh, I can only hear it for an active skill, right? But even just looking past that for a second, his kit was so just undertuned compared to just Piccolo's. Piccolo just did everything that this character did, but better. He has it where he guards for three turns, and then gets it where, like, let's just pull him up, right? Like, if we just do a direct comparison, right? So Piccolo guards for three turns, and then physical ultimate Gohan guards for 3 turns as well, right? It's the exact carbon copy of everything, right? And then 150% attack and defense, like Piccolo. 1 key, like Piccolo. But then this is where the stuff gets different. 20% damage reduction. Gohan doesn't get that. They do build up the same with every single attack and defense. He gets an additional attack that has a 70% chance of becoming a super attack with 20 or more key. But Piccolo just gets more key when getting hit. And then Piccolo has this ability, which, granted, you won't see that often, but we made it where he would be getting up to 50% damage reduction if you were able to somehow pop this in like a revive sort of thing. And then all Gohan got was attack effective against all types with 24 key, or, which was insanely hard to get, by the way, or when receiving a key blast super attack, he was able to nullify it. When Piccolo would just like, oh yeah, no, I can guard, or not guard, I get more damage reduction, and I can fully recover your HP. I'm almost like a pseudo revive unit in a sense. And then that doesn't even count the giant form, which deletes super attacks. And then it's just like, it's just so stupid. Like, they had similar activation conditions, but I don't know, like, it's such a big fumble to me. Next we have physical Super Saiyan 3 Daima Vegeta. Now you might be wondering, why is Ultimate Gohan below this guy? Well, in my personal opinion, Daima Vegeta is a worse fumble, because Daima Vegeta is kind of a similar situation like Beast Gohan, right? Daima Vegeta is from a brand new show, from the last thing that Akira Toriyama was able to do. It is the only time that we'll be able to see this form for the next 3 years, because that's how long it always takes. Is that any time that they mess up a character, it always takes that long for them to drop, right? I think Beast Gohan was like one of the only exceptions with 2 years as his yeah, it was 2 years as his waiting period. You had to wait a little bit over 2 years. Well, I guess this is the global timeline, so it would have been a little bit over, like 1 month and 2 years over. But physical Daima Vegeta, he goes into the new form. He starts as the new form. So in that way, he is better than Ultimate Gohan. But guess what? he sucks ass. He's only good for his first turn when he has the 90% damage reduction. But then every turn after, where all he has is 70%, he just can't live. And unlike Ultimate Gohan, who was at least decent around the time that he released, this guy isn't. So, in my opinion, it's a bigger fumble because Daima Vegeta had the animations to back it up. He had the brand new transformation that he starts as. It's not even something like he's base form and then transforms into Super Saiyan 3. No, he just starts as Super Saiyan 3 Daima Vegeta. His super attacks are beautifully animated. His active skill, it's really nice, and it has a decent condition considering that he just has so many additional super attacks in his kit. But it's not enough. It's not enough. Like if maybe he had like 80% damage reduction, or if maybe he had like 90% damage reduction turn 1, and then like if you were able to pop 3 super attacks or something, then he gets guard or something. Maybe he has it where on his active skill he gets guard. It would have been decent. Or 33% attack and defense. It would have been decent. But he didn't. And because of that, he's bad. He's just so underwhelming. To the point where when he dropped, I think he was barely top 10. If even that, and then at like just like a month or two after, he wasn't even in discussion. He's still not in discussion for top 10 now. And look at when he released. All he released was 5 months ago. This is so like, at least Ultimate Gohan had a decent running period. This guy sucked ass the entire time. He's so bad. He's so bad. I could probably bump this guy up to number 1 if you genuinely like held me down and did that, right? Like if I could be coerced into making this guy number 1. But I don't think anything's gonna top this guy. Genuinely. The only thing that I was thinking of putting was AGL Gohan, because at the bare minimum, AGL Gohan doesn't transform into Super Saiyan 2, so you could easily I'll actually make this a double spot, right? Because it's both the same form. So you could put either one here, and I would agree with it, because this guy had it where it's the worst fucking condition known to man, so he will never ever be able to go into Super Saiyan 2. And then on top, like at the bare minimum though, once you were able to go into Super Saiyan 2, this guy like was actually pretty decent, and just was like a pretty big nuker, right? And his animations were really nice. But the only reason why I put physical Super Saiyan 2 Gohan here was the fact that he's newer. He's a part of the anniversary, and he's still bad. Like, it is one of the best animations of all time, to the point where when Gogeta dropped, we immediately know that the guy who worked on Gogeta also worked on Gohan. And they even said it during the anniversary too. They were like, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan has possibly the best animations in the entire anniversary. And then they showed it, and I was so happy. And then this guy came out, and he's just so underwhelming again. Because he guards, he does everything good, but not good enough. He has guard, and that's good, right? He has the damage reduction, but it's not good enough. It's only 20%. He has it where he does get additional keys here. Like, I will say the one thing that this character does not suffer from is having ki. He has 5 ki here. He gets an additional 5 ki here, and then he gets 1 ki for every ki sphere obtained. So there, it is so easy to get 24 ki with this character, right? He has it where he gets a decent amount of defense on receiving an attack. From the 5th turn onwards, when you perform an 18 ki, he gets an additional 58% defense. And then he also performs a critical hit when getting 24 ki or doing an active skill. And when this character is doing like 70 million, 100 million like attack stats, he is pretty offensively powered. But the issue is that he didn't have the defense to make up for it. So when characters come out like a month or 2 later who are doing more damage than this guy, well, I shouldn't say a month or 2 later. because it took until right now for him to actually no, it didn't take a month or two, because Vegito and Gogeta were able to do the same thing that this guy does on turn 5, if not just better though, and also tanked a lot better. So during his own anniversary, he wasn't even in the discussion of top 5, and I think that sucks. But then characters come out later on that are able to buff this guy by 40% attack and defense, by the way. And this guy still, when I was running him, could not tank normals from the global Dokkan campaign. The Gogeta, I think it was like turn 5 that I did the attack, and he just wasn't able to tank normals against probably like one of the easiest things to do, considering that he has all of this, and he just couldn't do it. I don't even want to know what his super attack would have done, but he just couldn't do it. And it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Because he has this, and it's so easy to get this. But he just doesn't do what he needs to do. He's just so, like, it makes me want to cry, because this is easily my favorite form. It is my #1 favorite moment from Gohan. #2 is Future, and #1 is Super Saiyan 2. And they made this guy so mid. It's just so mid. You know what? I want to say that he's a bigger fumble than this one. I'm actually deleting this guy from the discussion of being #1 again, because at the bare minimum, this guy was fumbled because he had the active skill, and in of that self, you wouldn't have seen Super Saiyan 2, right? But at least they made this guy good. Even on easy, they made him pretty decent as long as you were above 58% HP with the guarding. I don't know why they did it like that. Where he was just like, in the long-term events, he was always okay, right? And then if you were able to turn into Super Saiyan 2, like, you were able to do a decent amount of damage, right? But you weren't ever able to see the Super Saiyan 2, so that was a big fumble. But this was a bigger fumble just because of the fact that this was Super Saiyan 2. There was no transformation. He just started as Super Saiyan 2. He had one of the best entrance animations in the game. He has one of the best active skill animations in the game. His 18 key looks phenomenal. But you know what doesn't? His fucking passive. Fuck this guy. I fucking hate him. In full power, like, dude. It's so it makes it actually want to just punch. I don't know. I just want to punch my monitor. I fucking hate this guy. I hate him so much. Fuck Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Hope you guys have a great week. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.